Hello, how are you? Are you good? You all made it? Oh my gosh, it is a pleasure to be with you guys today. My name is Kate. I want to share with you the idea that humor connects us. It can connect us to each other, it can connect us to our purpose, and most importantly, it can connect us to ourselves. I actually teach people how to lighten up and not take themselves so seriously. And now that we have a new normal, lightening up is even more essential to staying adaptable, resilient, and balanced. There's a great quote, and it goes like this: the thing I've learned over the years is the difference between taking one's work seriously and oneself seriously. The first is imperative, and the second disastrous. So I just want to have a lot of fun with you guys today. I flew in from Toronto. I'm so happy. I'm sorry I'm from Toronto, by the way. And oh my gosh, I have to say, and it's still not over, the last few years have been a crazy time for all of us. And I actually had COVID-19 a few weeks ago, again. So if anyone wants hugs, I'm safe. Yeah. Oh my God. And I was actually patient zero for the pandemic. I swear to God, I got COVID-19 in March 11th of 2020. Like, I was patient zero. Like, if there was a zombie attack, right, and you said, oh, meet at my cottage, I'm not going to make it. Guys, I'm not going to make it. Like, I was patient zero. I got back to Toronto. I found out I was with someone who had COVID. I ended up being 21 days in my bedroom alone. 21 days in an 8 by 10 bedroom alone. And I got to tell you guys, as a mother of 3, I felt like I'd won the lottery. I didn't have to cook or clean or talk to any of them. Are you kidding me? 3 weeks later, it's like, I gotta stay longer. And my only company for the 21 days was my cat, right? And I was like, I'm gonna love the cat and cuddle the cat and hug the cat. And then I almost ended up killing the cat. I swear, so the cat ended up getting really sick, right? And the kids took the cat to the vet. And the vet's like, the cat has pneumonia. And the kids are like, no, the cat's got COVID, right? And the vet's like, cats can't get COVID. What happened? 2 weeks later, Bronx Zoo, cats can get COVID. Yeah, so I almost killed my cat. But rats and snakes cannot get COVID. Yeah, so my mother-in-law will be okay. So that is good to know. Oh, you've not met my mother-in-law. She is a pandemic. Yeah, no. She shows up unexpectedly and ruins people's lives. That's what she does. So as you can tell, I am a stand-up comic. More importantly, a mother of 3. My first 2 kids are only 15 months apart. I look back on that time, I can't believe I did it. But they were a gift to me and to each other. Number 3 came along 5 years later, because quite frankly, I just didn't have the time or energy to be intimate with my husband anymore. Yeah, you guys know, back off. Yeah. And I always thought I would be perfect. But as new parents, we go through so much. For men, I think it's that overwhelming sense of responsibility, of having to provide, of being protective. For women, for myself, everything changed. My body, my psyche, my image of myself. I get home, I'm healing. Everyone who was helping, and thank God for them, had to get back to their own lives. And as I'm alone with a newborn and 2 other kids, I gotta tell you, survival of the fittest came to mind. Like, I don't think the show Survivor should take place on an island or Guatemala. Come on, let's do it in a new parent's home. It's hilarious. Between the diapers, the late night feeding, baby on your hip while you're trying to take a pee, between the orange wedges and the finger painting. I'm lonely, I'm exhausted, I got the baby in the car seat, I'm trying to take a shower, I only get 1 leg shaved. Yeah, do you guys know that? Yeah, it's very attractive. Just cuddle me from this side, right? With the lights out. Don't look at my rolls. Well, 5 years later, I felt like I had lost myself. And before resentment set in, I knew I had to rediscover who I was. So how did we do that? Well, to work or not to work could be my motto. I felt guilty for leaving my kids. I felt guilty because I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I felt guilty because I wasn't contributing to the finances. What I did realize is I had to let go of all the negative thoughts in my head. I should have a great career by now. I should have more savings in the bank by now. I should weigh 120 pounds by now. Yeah, the next time I weigh that, guys, is when I'm biodegrading. That is not happening. I had to let go of all those negative thoughts because so often we use shoulds when we're criticizing someone's action or our own. And all this shoulding has a heavy weight as we judge ourselves against its imagined standards. So I let go of all the shoulds. I could have a great career by now. But I've chosen to be a great stay-at-home mom. Because once I accepted where I was able to be more present to the life I was in. And that is when everything changed. I lived around the corner from a comedy club that I had to pass by every day to get to my best friend's house. So one night after putting the kids to sleep, which at this point was no easy task, I don't know if you guys know this beautiful lullaby. I love singing it to my kids. If you don't have kids and you're smart and keeping all your own money, maybe you sing it to your, maybe you sing it to your nieces or nephews, but it's just this beautiful lullaby. You guys must know it. It goes, oh my God, go to sleep, go to sleep. You guys know it? Oh yeah, we all know it. So I put him to bed that night, and I went to the comedy club. And as I'm watching, I thought, oh my gosh, I could do this. Like, I have so much to talk about. Like, do you guys know that Canada was ranked 7th happiest country in the world? Yeah, I'm like you guys. I'm not buying it. We're fine, but are we really that happy? Winter is coming. It just left. You know, Norway, #1. You know why? Free childcare, free post-secondary education, free healthcare, and they all look like Vikings. Oh my God, I get off a plane in Oslo, I'm a troll. I'm like, hey, where are we going? New Zealand, they were below us. Why are you so sad? Like, what happened? You're New Zealand. Too many hobbits? What is going on? But then I'm talking to this American guy, right? And I'm like, oh my God, your country's a crap show. And he got all defensive. He's like, yeah, well, what's your president like? And I'm like, well, we should start there. I'm like, we don't have a president. We have a prime minister. He's super cute. He's like, yeah, but what does he do? And I'm like, I don't know. He apologizes while crying a lot. That's it. I want to think we're great. I want to think we're amazing. The only thing I think Edmonton needs, honestly, this is all you guys need, just to make this city a little better. This is all you need, Alberta. Just one more. Like, just one more Shoppers Drug Mart. Are you itchy? What is happening? Come on, and the names of products are ridiculous. I came across a new Ambition scented deodorant, just for the ladies. When did a personality trait become a scent? Like, what do? You put this stuff on, you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna do stuff today. Hold on, I'm getting off the couch. New Avalanche scented deodorant. That is the name of a natural disaster. That kills people. You can't be naming your products that. What is that commercial? Avalanche deodorant. You'll never smell it coming. You know what I mean? It's gonna bury you alive. It's just wrong. Everything is weird nowadays. My husband and I are still both working from home, right? Half the time, and oh my gosh. Like, we've been together so long, honestly, he's no longer my soulmate, he's my cellmate. We've been together so long, his idea of romance now is taking out the garbage every Tuesday. Yeah, guys, he's an idiot. Garbage day's Wednesday. I hate him. Oh my God. He works in the corporate environment. I think it's getting to him every time we go to hang out. Now he calls it a merger. I call it a hostile takeover. Like, get out of here. We've been together. And he bought a new car for a ridiculous amount of money because it goes from 0 to 150 in 5.8 seconds. Yeah, like I'm supposed to be impressed. I'm like, oh, woo, so does my bathroom scale. I got one of those bikes, you know, those Peloton stationary bikes. Yeah, here's my advice, don't do that. Oh my God, it's an overpriced stationary bike, and you're riding, right? And you're riding. And the instructor is right there, screaming at you, right? And you're riding, you gotta increase the tension, like you're going up a hill. Well, I don't know about you guys, but when I go up a hill on my bike, I get off my bike and I walk it. The instructor's screaming at me, get back on the bike. I'm like, no, without my helmet. It's not happening. The only thing that ages me are my children and my font size at this point. Oh my God. My youngest kid, oh my God, she was so cute when she was little. Her name is Maddie. The only way to describe her, crazy blonde hair, Coke bottle glasses, wandering eye. Does it get any cuter? I have a cross-eyed 7-year-old, missing teeth. I'm living with a hillbilly. You're like, I'm always having to patch her good eye so her bad eye gets stronger. Once I do, she can't see anything. It's like hanging out with a drunk buddy. She just runs into stuff, falls over. I'm like, do it again. But Maddie is that kid always getting me into trouble. I just go to a parent-teacher interview, right? I go in, it's this old British woman. She says to me, she's like, Miss Davis, I just want you to know that your daughter is reading extremely well. And I'm like, that is amazing, because I didn't read my first book until I finished high school. Yeah, she said, no doubt. Right? And then she said, well, what was it called? And I was like, well, it was cold, so now you're pregnant. I wish I was kidding, guys. It was more a pamphlet, really. No, Maddie is that kid. She lost a tooth recently, and I was an idiot. When she first lost a tooth, I got so excited, I gave her $5. You guys know, right? They got 25 of those suckers each. All I could come up with in the entire house was $1.87. So I put that under her pillow, and she woke up the next morning, and she's like, there is no such thing as a tooth fairy. And I'm like, why? Didn't the tooth fairy come? And she's like, you gave me $1.87. And that's all I had in my piggy bank. Oh, gotta hide your money when that tooth fairy comes. Kids are expensive, aren't they? I didn't even realize how broke I was until last year somebody stole my identity. Yeah, and it ruined her life. Now she's lousy credit rating. Oh my God, and I got a teenage boy. Oh my God, I will give it to every guy in here. And by the way, you guys look like the Angry Muppets. Right here, these two old guys. Oh yeah. Yeah, stand up, show everyone. Come on, let's do it. Yeah, there you go. Number one, number two. Okay, there's 3 of them. Do they work with you? Are they crashing the party? This is not an AA meeting, guys. Let's do this. Oh my gosh, I got a teenage boy. You guys go through a lot of puberty. I didn't know. I didn't grow up with a brother. He's the first teenage boy I'm dealing with without being a creepy teen myself. My poor son, his voice is changing. He's like, whoa, whoa. But he's got that creepy dirt mustache happening, but he's still short. I feel like I'm living with the Hobbit. And honestly, I couldn't afford to put him in hockey or golf. I had to put him in soccer. Right? Way cool, because we went to the World Cup all of a sudden. But soccer moms, you're intense. You know who you are. Screaming at the refs, screaming at the coaches. They insist on high-fiving every single player, every single game. Like, come on, if my kid scores, I just honk from my car. Yeah, and then the ref screams at me, get the car off the field. I'm like, I'm backing it up. I gotta tell you guys, I left the comedy club that night elated. Like I had had a first kiss. I truly found something that fueled my soul, that made me a better mother, a better wife, a better sister, a better friend, a better coworker, a better everything. I found my truth, my calling, my purpose. And we all have a truth. And there is such courage in answering that call. So for today, I want to share with you how we can lighten up, how we can connect with each other, how we can bring balance into our lives. Number one thing I want to talk about is bringing what you love back into your life. Doing what you love, do what you love, do what you love, which we hear all the time, and it is great to say when we're rock stars. But when we're in the day-to-day grind, we often lose sight of that. Doing what you love is based on a knowing what you love. And often when we were kids, we were taught that work and fun were opposites by definition, right? When we did what we wanted, that was fun. When our parents told us what to do, that was work. School was work, getting us ready for the real world. We were never taught that they can be the same thing. But bringing what you love back into your life can be a huge contributor to you balancing your life. So how do we do that? Well, doing what you love, as I just said, is based on a knowing what you love. But if you're like me, I had no idea what I loved anymore. I was just going to work, coming home, taking care of everyone and everything else but myself. What I did realize is it takes a young, youthful, playful spirit. It takes us to lighten up, to not take ourselves so seriously so that we can be more playful in discovering things that fuel our soul. But so often we don't want to lighten up, or we're afraid to lighten up because we're afraid we're going to lose our sense of importance. But lightening up allows us to take risks. It allows us to think differently, to communicate differently. It makes us more receptive where all great ideas are born. What did you love to do when you were a kid? Because I can tell you, it is no surprise to me that stand-up has fulfilled me so much. I was always putting on shows. I was always telling jokes. And if you are having trouble recognizing that truth, that you so freely expressed as a child, probably before all the shoulds and the negative narrative in our mind. Try everything and anything. If you always wanted to write, start a blog, start a newsletter. If you always wanted to act, join a community theater or a masterclass online. It is truly about the process that allows us to be more playful. Comedy was not something I did. It was something I could do a couple nights a week, 5 minutes at a time, that fueled everything else I was trying to balance. So I want you to take time, maybe tonight or when you're at the time that you're at the conference, and I want you to write down 3 things that are totally out of your wheelhouse that you are going to try this year. It can be line dancing, it can be salsa classes, it can be pottery, it can be learning a new language. It doesn't matter what it is. But we get so stuck in our ways. When was the last time you tried a new flavor of ice cream? Right? We have to keep that adventurous spirit going, that curiosity going. All these things help us, stay resilient and adaptable. So write down 3 things that you love to do or that you're going to try. And you might try something and end up hating it. So try something else. It's really about the process of us being playful in discovering things that fuel our soul. But the real key here is to lighten up. To not take ourselves so seriously, because we are serious adults. Do you know on average how many times a day kids laugh? About 300. Do you know on average how many times a day adults laugh? About 15. Guys, what happened to us? When did we leave Never Neverland? Laughter is a buffer between stress and its toxic effect, and laughter makes us kinder to one another. Look, certain stresses, certain issues ring true for all of us. Even before the pandemic, I'll give you an example. Feeling like we're being heard or listened to is as old as caveman drawings. And I'll tell you something, if Maddie doesn't feel like she's being heard or listened to, she will scream her head off. And then one day I hear my 2 older kids saying to Maddie, "Oh yeah, we used to have a sister just like you. Her name was Christina. She had glasses like you and blonde hair like you, and she was so cute, just like you. And we ate her." And I come running downstairs. I'm like, "Oh my God, you are terrifying her. That is unacceptable." And another part of my brain, I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, you guys are a genius." Because Maddie never listens to me. I'm like, "Get your shoes on, get your shoes on." Christina wouldn't get her shoes on either. I always know there's like a few people who are like, "Yeah, I might do that." Look, we choose anger because we don't know what to do to get the results we want. Anger often manipulates others into doing what we want. But at the time of anger, we're out of control. My mom always had a look she would give us. Ooh, the mom look. How many of you still use it? Oh yeah, if we got that look, my mom was a moment away from losing it. And this was the 70s. She could lose it. We'd be like, "She's got the wooden spoon, run!" But the entire neighborhood would just be like, "Get 'em." Yeah, we had no rights back then, guys. Right? Or we always, we've all seen that parent in the supermarket where the kid's losing it and the parent's losing it. And then before you have kids, you're like, "Oh my God, lady, get a grip. You're bigger than her." And then you are that parent in the supermarket. You're like, "Oh my God, I don't even know you." 2 meters away. Right? Fun causes us stress and brings everyone into the moment. By a raise of hands, how many of you use humor in your day-to-day lives? Let's see ya. Okay, good. How many of you think you're really funny? All right, I like it. Can I have a couple of volunteers? Would you mind? Okay, yeah. Come on up. I love this. Okay. Let's go. Oh, okay, we can do more. Okay, yeah, come on up. I love it. Hello. I'm Kate.
Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Beth.
Hi, Beth. Okay.
She is funny.
I've never done it with 3, but let's do it. What are you looking for?
Her gum.
Oh, your gum is right there. I've never had that happen before. Do one of you gentlemen want it? No, I'm kidding. Do you want a pat? Is there a tissue or a piece of paper? Oh, Fred's gonna do it. Oh, here we go. All right, okay, yeah. It's okay. Okay, so let's get back to it, guys. Look, fun causes us stress and brings everyone into the moment. We take ourselves so seriously, we can't be a little goofy. So we're gonna play a little improv game. So, Kelly, I'd like you to be the mom. Okay, and you guys are twin sisters right here. Oh yeah, I'm rolling with it, guys. Okay, so I want you to try and get your kids to leave, but they don't want to leave the playground, okay? Now, I had one of my actors say, would you like me to do it how I really do it, or how I do it in front of all of you? Okay, now, yeah, so I want you to do it how you really do it. So you guys are just playing, skipping, hanging out, and you're their mom. And then I'm going to freeze the game, and we're going to do something else.
Am I allowed to curse?
No, it's a clean show, I think. It's up to Morty. All right, okay, so we're good. And action. You guys are playing.
All right, kids, let's go. No. Okay, I'm taking off. See you later.
Bye, Mom.
Do you really want me to grab them?
Yeah. Okay. So what we'll do, okay, so you're going to be the mom now. And you're gonna be the two little kids. I want you skipping, hanging out, playing. Now, we take ourselves so seriously, we need to have more fun. So I want you to become something other than yourself. It can be SpongeBob, it can be a robot, it can be an army sergeant. Okay, perfect. So I want you to try and get them to leave by being something other than yourself. Okay, you guys are sisters, and action! I think Mom's a kitty. Yes! Keep hissing at your kids. Okay, give it up for our volunteers. You guys are, here. Thank you for volunteering. Okay, here you go, guys. Thank you, and thank you. All right. Give it up for our volunteers. I've never had a hissing cat, and I will always remember that. Okay, look, fun causes us stress and brings everyone into the moment. Be a little goofy, have a little fun. How much were you guys laughing when I was like, we're leaving, right? So have a little fun with it. If my kids don't want to leave the schoolyard, I don't get angry. I just start singing opera. We have to leave now. Is that your mom? Yes, it is, I'm leaving. And you might think, hey, you were embarrassing your children, and yes, I am. But my kids are always embarrassing me. Like, I took them all to the science center. There was a scientist there doing an exhibit on minerals. And he asked the kids, he's like, okay, kids, what do you salt for? And one kid's like, well, my mother cooks with it. Another one's like, my daddy sprinkles it on the sidewalk so we don't slip. Yeah, my kids scream out, tequila. Like, shut the hell up. You've been hanging out with grandma too much. Fun cancels out stress and brings everyone into the moment. Look, humor was not created in a vacuum. It takes people to spread it. And a little levity, especially at work, can go a long, long way. How many times have you been somewhere and a group of people are laughing? What is our first thought? What are they laughing at? Everyone wants to be a part of that, like a great workplace, a great team, a great community. It's about inclusivity. It's about making a connection. So I have here 8 reasons why we can't lighten up. This is from Wear Your Party Pants, Loretta LaRoche's book. Number 1, we're busy. You're never not going to be busy, so lighten up. Number 2, we're afraid of what they might say. I don't know who they are, but they sure stop a lot of laughter for a lot of people. Number 3, the committee meeting. Many of us are filled with inner critics who want us to be terminally serious adults. Number 4, we need to be right. It's hard to laugh when we're always trying to prove a point. Number 5, we have a tendency to judge and criticize, especially ourselves. Number 6, we've made too many rules and regulations. When we have to behave like a drill sergeant and life is a forced march, it's hard to chuckle. Number 7, we need to suffer before and during after anything stressful. And number 8, we have too much ego. When we're overinflated, we can't laugh because we are afraid we will lose our sense of importance. So laugh out loud. There are so many health benefits to laughter. It releases stress, tension, anxiety. It is a great ab workout. It increases blood circulation. It lowers blood pressure. And how great do you feel when you've laughed so hard that you cried? You feel amazing, right? Because of all the endorphins that have so many healing qualities. And when we don't laugh for long periods of time, what are we deemed? We are deemed clinically depressed. That is what we are deemed. Do you know people who laugh like this? It's like their laugh is stuck up their bum. You know what I mean? Laugh out loud. It is good for you. Okay, so you know that grown-up chip that's in your head, I'm a serious grown-up. We're going to put it in the middle of the table, and we're going to play a few games now. Do you guys remember the game rock, paper, scissors? Right, this is a rock, this is a paper, this is a scissors, scissors cuts the paper, paper covers the rock, and the rock mushes the scissors. What I'd like you to do is just join someone at your table, and I want you to play rock, paper, scissors 2 out of 3 times. Now, when I was a kid and we used to play, whoever won got to lick their fingers and slap the other person. Yeah, we will not be exchanging any bodily fluids today. Okay? I know, it's sad. Okay, so rock, paper, scissors 2 out of 3 times, and go. Sounded like a good schoolyard in here. The energy's going. Okay. So how do we feel about that game? It's a lot of fun, but there's always a winner and always a loser. Now, there's a great company in the States called Fair Play, and they're all about bringing playfulness back into the workplace. And this is how this game goes. This is how this game goes. There's a hound dog, and the hound dog represents that part of us that won't take no for an answer. It's a real go-getter. And the hound dog goes like this. Arr! Can you guys do it with me? 1, 2, ready, go! Arr! Good job, guys. Now the fireworks represents that all moment, that everyone's trying it this way, but I want to try it this way. Where all great ideas are born. And the hound dog, the fireworks goes like this. Shh, ooh, ah. Can you guys do it with me? 1, 2, ready, go! The fireworks. Ooh, ah, the hound dog, Arr, the fireworks, ooh, ah, you guys are so good. Now the person represents an interpersonal relationship, without which we couldn't be a part of a team. And the person goes like this, how you doing? Okay, 1, 2, ready, go, the person, how you doing? The hound dog, Arr, the fireworks, ooh, ah, the person, how you doing? Nice. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to play the hound dog, the fireworks, and the person. This is how this game's going to go. When I say I want you to stand up, and I want you to go back to back with the person you are playing rock, paper, scissors with. And when I count to 3, you are going to jump around, face each other, and psychically come up with the same one. All right, now eye rolls. Let's go. Everyone up. Here we go. Back to back. Back to back. There is no Bob Morris code. Back to back, ladies. Let's do it. Okay. Is it going to be the hound dog? Is it going to be the fireworks? Is it going to be the person? 1, 2, ready, go! All right, one more time, everyone. Back to back. Here we go. Fred, you want a partner? All right, come on. Here we go. Is it going to be the hound dog? Is it going to be the fireworks? Is it going to be the person? 1, 2, ready, go! How many got it right? Let me see ya. Okay. All right, here we go, here we go. So, how do we feel about that game? It's ridiculous. But it's not about the game, it's about the bonding experience that happens during the game. They find that companies that are more playful are better problem solvers, they're more creative, and they don't burn out as easily. So start off your next staff meeting with a little game of broken telephone, or musical chairs, or code names. It doesn't matter what it is. It is truly about bringing playfulness back into our lives and making that more enjoyable. There's a great book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. He was a Nazi concentration camp survivor, and after the war, he came up with a therapy called logotherapy. And he said that through dignity, grace, and humor, mankind can survive anything. And he talks about putting a spin on what's stressing you. So say the photocopier won't work, or say we all know how gross we are now because we know that we lick our fingers to open the plastic bags at the supermarket and we can't do that anymore. So we gotta wait for the veggies to spray, right? And once they spray, then you open all the bags, all right? So instead of reacting, look, stress is always gonna happen. It's how we adapt and cope with the stress that it's causing that counts. So if something stressful is happening and you know it's a trigger for you, make a little dance about it, sing a little song about it, act a little poem about it, react to the stress differently than you normally would. Put a spin on what's stressing you. And I'll give you an example. I have a friend, she's the worst driver on the planet, like horrible, right? And to put a spin on what was stressing her, because people were always flipping on the bird and giving her the finger, she started carrying around a clown nose with her. So every time she would do something wrong, right, people like, oh, she'd be like, ta-da! Because you can't get mad at a clown. They wouldn't know what to do. They'd drive by waving, like, what is happening? So put a spin on what's stressing you. All these little things, bringing what you love back into your life, being a little goofy, having a little fun, putting a spin on what's stressing you, all these little things can truly keep us healthy, happy, and whole. That's what it's all about. Life is so short. There is a great quote, and it goes like this. There's a great quote, and it goes like this. If we want to lead people into the future, we have to connect with them deeply in the present. I'm going to say that again. If we want to lead people into the future, we have to connect with them deeply in the present. But when we use humor in that, it is way, way more powerful. You know, that's why I love stand-up, because it brings everyone into a moment, and a shared moment allows us to bond. You know, if we look up the definition of connectivity, which is the theme of this conference, it is all computer related. Platforms, systems, applications. But to me, it means to join together, to establish a real link with someone or something. You know, we not only have conferences like this to connect with each other, but to be innovative. And as we all know, innovation is bringing new ideas to life, but it always starts with that firework moment, that burst of everyone's trying it this way. I feel like I'm going to try it this way. Where all great ideas are born, right? So innovation is bringing those new ideas that we created to life. So innovation is linked to productivity, efficiency, quality of service. But most importantly, what does it do? It helps build relationships, which leads to a deeper understanding of purpose. When we feel connected to someone or something, it makes us want to help. It makes us feel inspired. And it makes us want to create. That's what it's all about. But we truly are connecting so, so differently nowadays. So I want to share this story with you because it's something, oh my gosh. My husband and I were so excited we were going to be going to Vegas for a friend's wedding. And so much planning went into this vacation because we were leaving our children for the first time. Like 3 kids planning to leave them is a lot, you know? Yeah, you're all nodding at me. I love it. All right? And we were so excited, and we got to the airport, and we went to the kiosk, and it wouldn't print our boarding pass. So we were forced to go up to the guy at the check-in. And we go up to the guy, and I'm like, here's our reference number. We're so excited. We're going to Vegas. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. We've oversold the flight. We're going to have to put you on standby. What exactly? Now, I know that's happened to so many people here. But the thing I don't have is patience. Because I'm leaving my children. Right? Like I say to the guy, you got to get me on this flight. First of all, I'm sick of listening to Mo Bamba and Baby Shark. Right? They take all my money. They don't pretend to like me. And I'm sick of hiding my booze in my coffee mug. Right? I'm like, you got to get me on this flight. And he's like, sorry, ma'am. He called me ma'am. Exactly. He's like, you're going to have to proceed to security, and they will let you know at the gate. And I'm like, you don't understand. You got to get me on this flight because my oldest daughter hates me so much right now. Her caller ID for me just says my dad's wife. I'm like, you got to get me on this flight. He's like, proceed through security. They will let you know at the gate. So I go through security and I do what anyone would do in my situation. I go to the bar, I get a drink, I pretend I'm in Vegas. Now my husband is the opposite of me. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't eat meat, he works out every day. He is so gonna die first. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. It's always those health nuts. I'm running a marathon. I'm like, I'm eating pizza. Anyway, I love pizza. You guys like pizza? Yeah, do you like pineapple on pizza? Oh, very controversial. Did you know that pineapple on pizza was invented in Chatham, Ontario? I know. You know what else was invented in Chatham? Yeah, nothing. Right? Hey, let's let them have this. So my husband is so calm compared to me, right? He's like, you know what? I'm going to phone the airline. I will get to the bottom of this. And I'm like, oh yeah, well, you know what? I'm going to tweet about this. I'm like, at the airline that cannot be named, Air Canada. Yeah, you've always on my flight. I'm going to miss a wedding. Was looking forward to being away from the kids. Hashtag crappy airline. Meanwhile, my husband is just listening to bad music. Hasn't gone through to anyone. Air Canada already tweeted me back. At Davis Comic, your ticket is by the gate. Hashtag great airline. I'm like, at Air Canada, I think you should buy me an iWatch for my stress. Hashtag great airline. I couldn't believe it. Not only did me tweeting about it make them connect with me immediately, but they connected with me with humor. Like, what are they, WestJet? Like, what is happening? And I love it and I hate it. We all know I'm social media overwhelmed, and we all know it can unite us or it can divide us. If we feel things are unfair, we feel we've been wrong, we can tweet about it, we can put it on Facebook, you know, but it's just, even with my kids, you know, I won't let them do something. All of a sudden, my mother is calling me. Yeah, which is weird, because she lives in my basement. Right? And she's like, why wouldn't you let Jaden ride his bike? I'm like, how do you know that? She's like, it's on his Insta. I'm like, when did Grandma start calling it Insta? Look, we want the newest, fastest, most stable connection possible. We want to know what each other's doing. Where are you? Send me an Insta message so we can feel connected. Do you guys realize that there are over 700 million tweets a day? And if that doesn't resonate with you, that would be the entire Harry Potter series being published every 7 seconds. That is how much we are connecting. But maybe our handheld devices are just mimicking that natural connection we all know on some level is there. You know, like we really are connecting so differently. I gotta take this off. I'm so hot, guys. I'm having a hot flash. No, it's fine. There you go, Fred. Thank you. Look, thank you, Fred. Oh, look at this. We'll wait for you. It's okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. That's perfect. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so look, we really are connecting so differently, and it just amazes me how much, because when I was lying there for 21 days, I gotta tell you, I finished the internet. All of it, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Apple TV, like all of it, like even old school stuff, Hoarders, Intervention. I felt pretty good about myself, right? I didn't know I was pregnant. How do you not know? I gained 80 pounds with each of my pregnancies. I thought I was going to give birth to an 8-year-old. How do you not know you're pregnant? Okay, the reason I'm bringing this up is the show Undercover Boss. Do you guys know it? It's where CEOs, bosses go incognito, in disguise, to reconnect with their staff, their mission, and their employees. And so I have to tell you this story because I ordered a cab one day. I was going to the train station in Toronto, and this cab shows up at my house, and it is decked out, like from the trunk of the car to the hood of the car, like all inside. It had decorations and big screen, like video TVs on the back of the seats, and juice boxes and water and gum. And I was just like, I said to the guy, the cab driver, I'm like, oh my God, like you really love what you're doing. And you know what he says to me? He goes, did you see me on Undercover Boss? And I'm like, no. And he's like, would you like to watch my episode? And I'm like, of course. So he puts it on in the back of the cab, right? And apparently the head of the taxi company gets in his car and pretends that she is broken up with her partner. and was heartbroken. And he was so kind, and he consoled her and made her feel okay. Even went and bought her pizza, comfort food. Who doesn't love that? Just was so compassionate to the situation. And at the end of the episode, because now I'm in the back of the cab and I'm crying, I'm like, oh my God, you're so great. And then I guess the CEO calls him into her office, and she's like, it was me, okay? And she gifted him $10,000. Wow. That's what she did. And he was so grateful. Him and his family were so grateful. And I said to him, oh my God, this is so beautiful. We got to the train station. I'm like, do I have to pay you? Anyway, I was like, get out. Anyway, it was so good. Look, there's a big difference between working with someone and working for someone. How we connect with each other, how we relate to each other, has so much to do with our empathy for each other, which has so much to do with listening to each other, making us feel a part of something. We've all heard of that hockey coach who every kid wants to play for, right? What makes that coach different from all the other coaches? He makes people feel special. He makes people feel a part of something. He makes it inclusive. That's what it's all about. And that is our mission, to everyone in our lives. Be inclusive, have fun. That's why I love stand-up so much. We really are. But unless we connect with ourselves first, we can't connect with each other. It's impossible. So one of the things I love to use to connect with, and I feel like you guys really can use it, is your intuition. Your intuition will always lead to answers. Your fear and guilt will always lead to more questions. There is a great book called The Gift of Fear by Gavin Becker. The entire book is based on intuition. It's an incredible book. And he explains it so well. It's like moving into a new house. The fridge goes off. The furnace goes off. Oh my God, is someone breaking in? There's a creak in the floor. A week later, you don't even notice that. That is how intuition works. It picks up on something that's out of the ordinary. And I have to say, I'm amazed, especially with my kids, my spidey senses are always going off. Are you guys amazed you survived your childhoods? Yeah? How many people here do we have under the age of 30? 30 and under? Let's see ya. Oh, look at you guys. Your dreams, your whole lives ahead of you. You're never gonna own a house. So sorry. You know when my kids are going to own a house? When I'm dead, that's when they're going to own a house. And then they're going to realize I reverse mortgage that. You're never going to own a house. No, I'm amazed. I survived my childhood. Like, you guys don't understand. We did not have bike helmets or knee pads or stair gates or little plastic plug covers. Right? When we were kids, we put our finger in the socket. Right, well, our mothers watched. And my mom used to go, lick your finger, go on, look at that. Yeah, you guys know what happened. We got electrocuted. It hurt, but then we never did it again. That's how we learned. Do you remember licking a 9-volt battery? You three still do, don't even. Oh my God. I said to my kids, I'm like, have you guys ever licked a 9-volt? And they're like, no, Mom. So that's what I bought them for Christmas. Sitting around the tree. My son's braces just started sparking. Use your intuition. It is a great invisible tool you have for your invisible tool belt. How many times have you had a feeling about someone or something, and then something happens and you didn't listen to yourself? I knew it. We've all had those I knew it moments. So listen to your intuition. I have here how business leaders use their intuition. And here is the head of Hewlett Packard. And I think it has a lot to do with you guys. She said, engage your heart, your gut, and your mind in every decision you make. I think leadership takes what I call a strong internal compass. When the winds are howling, the sky is cloudy, you have nothing to navigate by, a compass tells you where north is. When we're in a difficult situation, a lonely situation, we have to rely on that compass to tell us if we're doing the right things for the right reasons in the right way. And sometimes that's all we have. So how do we get in touch with our intuition? Just notice it and trust in it. That's what it's all about. And I have to say, now I have a teenage boy, my spidey senses are going off all the time. Like, oh my God, okay, weirdest parenting moment I have to share. Picking my kid up wasted for the first time. I feel like you guys are judging me. I wasn't wasted. whoa. And I knew it, right? Like my spidey senses were going off all night. And you always know something's up with your kid now when someone else answers their phone. Right? Yeah, exactly. I phoned my son. I'm like, hey, Jaden, hey. I'm like, where's Jaden? He's busy. Busy? He's 15. He hasn't been busy in 15 friggin' years. So I roll up to this party. He's on some stranger's front lawn, wasted. Like, yeah. And I jump out of my car. I'm like, oh my God, you're wasted. You know what he says to me? He's like, yeah. But then I realize, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're high. And he's like, I'm not high. I'm like, you are high. He's like, I'm not high. I'm like, you look like you're concentrating. And my son doesn't do that. Like ever. And he's like, I'm not high. And I'm like, all right, Mr. Not High. Answer me this one question. He's like, what? I'm like, look at me. Look at me. How badly, huh? Huh? Do you want a Big Mac right now? And he's like, I love it. But I'm waiting for my mom to pick me up. I'm like, get in the car. So use your intuition. It is truly, truly such a special gift that we all have, you know, that we can use anytime. All these little things, bringing what you love back into your life, putting a spin on what's stressing you out, lightening up, being a little goofy, having a little fun, laugh out loud. All these little things can truly keep us healthy, happy, and whole. You know, it's all about inclusivity. It's all about connection. How do business people connect? You know how they connect? They play golf. That's what they do. They play 18 holes. You know, a great way to connect that you could even do remotely is ask people, what is the funniest thing that's ever happened to you? People love retelling their funny stories because it brings them right back to that moment where they get to relive it and you get to share in it. You know, take a moment, you know, tonight. Think about what is my funniest story and share it with the people that you might have met this week. You know, it works with young people, it works with old people, it works with people you just met, and it works with people you've known for a long time. So ask people, what is the funniest thing that's ever happened to you? So now I have to tell you my funny story, right? And I couldn't believe it. I love the car wash. I'm obsessed with getting my car cleaned, right? And so I go to the car wash, the In and Out. They do a great job. Oh my gosh, I get in my car, I drive away. 3 minutes later, some guy from the back seat pops up. Yeah, I drove away with a guy in my car. My husband's like, what did you do? I'm like, I bought him a cheeseburger. And I took him back to work. He's like, you could have been charged with kidnapping. I'm like, I know. All these little things. Fun truly does cancel out stress and bring everyone into the moment. You know, and it's not about telling the next best joke. It is truly about not taking ourselves so seriously and bringing that to every aspect of our life, whether it's at work, whether it's at home. And we all deal with stress differently. All of us. Do we have any Brits in the house? Any Brits in the house? Oh, you guys, look at you. So creepy. Anyway, no. You guys are just amazing at dealing with stress. You truly are. Like, there was a British Airways flight. It went off the runway at Heathrow Airport. Tires went flying. Plane almost split in half. Half the British passengers on that flight didn't even realize that there was a problem with the landing. How relaxed are you as a people that you don't know your plane has just crashed? They're like, oh, jolly good, I had no idea. Come and see anybody. It's like that Monty Python sketch where they cut off their arms. And then it was just a scratch. Everyone deals with stress so differently. There is a great study done at UCLA about how men and women deal with stress differently. And what they found was when a man was stressed, number one thing, always wanted to be alone. That was the number one thing. Second thing was always angrier about what was stressing him. They found, on the other hand, that when a woman is stressed, certain hormones, same hormones as in childbirth, are released. They call it the tending instinct. It makes us want to nurture. It makes us want to bond. It makes us want to be with each other. And I thought, wow, how many fights could I have avoided with my husband if I knew He was acting the exact way he was meant to be acting, and so was I. You know, it truly is like amazing to me. But when I use humor in those situations, it truly does go way, way further. Like my husband is always on his phone. And it drives me insane. Even if we're out for a nice romantic dinner, I'll have it under the table, and he'll be texting like I don't know. Right? And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. I'm like, your chin is glowing blue. And then I reminded him, there is a one-letter difference between wireless and wifeless. Right? I'm like, connect with me. I got buttons right here. And an inbox. Let's go. Fred's like, you're fired. No. It's a male joke. No, but we do. Look, my grandparents had their 65th wedding anniversary, 65 years. That is a lifetime together, right? And my whole family got together, and my grandfather stood up to make his I love this woman the secret to 65 years of marriage. And this is what he said. I'm just seeing how long I can keep this going for. Hold on. This is what he said. This is what. If you're gonna cheat, don't get caught. That is what he said. But my grandmother couldn't hear anything, so she was like. But then my grandmother is a very smart woman, and I said to my nan, I'm like, how did you last 65 years? And she's like, oh, every time we'd have a fight, I would take a time out. And I'm like, that is so great. Take a time out, go think about it. She's like, no, I take a time out, I go clean the toilet. And I'm like, why? She's like, I use this toothbrush. That's my nan. Relationships are hard. My husband and I, we've been having the same fight now for over 23 years. 23 years, same fight. This is fight. It started around the year Y2K, and it was all about what century was it. I said it was the 21st century. He said it was the 20th century until the year 2100. That is the fight. So we're walking down the street, he brings it up again, he's like, it's the 20th century. Because that's the way he talks. And I'm furious, right? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to settle this once and for all. And I go to this stranger on the street where I'm like, I'm sorry to bug you, sir. Sorry to bug you. But do you know what century it is? And the guy's face just drops and he goes, I know. I got a bad haircut. He looked like Caesar, I swear. Look, for the last few years, everything has been a crap show. Some people have felt isolated. Some people have felt free from their commute. Some people have missed the social aspect of work. Some people have been frontline workers the entire time. You know, everyone has dealt with this situation differently, which is why it is so important to connect with clients, family, coworkers, and friends. So for the last part of this, I just want to go over some really practical things that I hope that you can implement into your lives to help you connect with yourselves, connect with others, and find balance, and truly live a healthier and happier life. So number one thing I've loved to implement, I call them the 3 do's. Every day, I want you to do one thing for yourself. So often we go to work, we come home, we take care of everyone and everything else but ourselves. So I want you to make sure, it can be bringing that new thing back into your life. You know, it can be going for a walk. It doesn't matter what it is, but I want you to do one thing for yourself a day. Promise yourself you will. Second thing is do one thing for your home. I find, you know, when I'm working remotely and I'm at home, I get overwhelmed and I start doing so many different things at home. And we all know the Maria Kondo show, right? Do I really need this? Do I really love this? Great way to be mindful, taking care of your home. Did you hear? Now she has kids. She's all about the mess. Oh, yeah. But okay, just a sidebar. If we're going to talk about mindfulness, one of the most easiest, authentic ways to bring mindfulness into your life is to laugh. It is impossible to laugh and not be in the moment. You can't do it. So you know how they tell you to get in your 10,000 steps today? I want you to get in your 300 laughs today. There is so much content out there. Put on your favorite funny show. Watch cats falling. It doesn't matter what it is, but make sure you get in your 300 laughs today. Third do is do one thing for others. You know, it can be just checking up on an old friend with a phone call. It can be dropping off a pie on someone's porch. I'll give you my address. Right? But do the 3 do's. One thing for yourself, one thing for your home, and one thing for others. Another thing I love to implement is I call them 5-second stress busters. We all have 5 seconds in our lives. You can do it while you're doing dishes. You can do it when you just parked your car, if you're at your desk. I want you to physically check in on yourself. So I want you to tense up everything from your head all the way down to your toes, your shoulders, scrunch your jaw and your eyes. And then I want you to hold it for 5 seconds and I want you to let it go. Because you will be amazed how much tension we hold physically in our bodies that we don't even realize. So I thought we could all do it just quickly. It's only 5 seconds. But if you wouldn't mind closing your eyes, because it does look like you're going to the bathroom. Okay? So everyone, close your eyes. I'm going to count to 5. I want you to tense up everything. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let it go. And have a nice deep breath. So check in on yourself physically every day. You can do it a couple times a day. I find it very helpful. So look, the last part of this, I just really want to talk about refueling. I said at the beginning of this speak, because we really are jugglers, and the first ball to drop is usually our own. I said at the beginning of this speak, once I accepted where I was able to be more present to the life I was in. And that is when everything changed. You know, and I'm a huge believer in what's going on in here is being played out there. So be mindful of what thoughts you are thinking. You know, and I'll give you an example. I have one friend, and her name is Joan. I don't even honestly know why I'm friends with Joan. Every time I talk to Joan, I'm like, oh, why am I friends with you? Maybe you know a Joan. Maybe you are a Joan. I don't know. Okay, but this is my conversation with Joan. I'm like, hey, Joan, how's it going? She's like, oh, my God. Oh, my God, bad things always happen to me. I'm like, oh, my God, what happened to you? Are you okay? And she's like, oh, my God. I overslept and missed my train. I slipped on the sidewalk in the pouring rain. I sprained my ankle. I skinned my knee. I broke my glasses. I got stuck in an elevator. It wouldn't go. I kicked twice the top until I bought a pen. It wouldn't write. It took it back and I was like, oh, bad things always happen to me. What do you think is always going to happen to her? Bad things. It's all she affirms. So be mindful of what's going on. And I'm such a jerk to myself. I'm always beating myself up more than anyone else. Like, my nose is too big and my bum's too big. I'm a procrastinator and I'm not good enough. But one of you said one of those things to me, I'll be so hurt. But I can say it to myself 20, 30 times a day. So be nice to yourself. So what I did was, I love affirmation work. I wrote down everything I thought about myself, and then I wrote it all out in positive, and I burnt my negative list. I'm very dramatic. All right? I burnt the negative list, throw it away, do whatever you want, and then I started wearing a little rubber band. And every time I had one of those little nagging negative thoughts, I would twang the rubber band, and I would replace it with the good thought. The positive thought. And you will be amazed how fast your life will change when we start loving ourselves. Because that's what it's all about. It is all about loving ourselves. So I just want to tell you this last story. It's one of those moments that changed the way I look at everything. So I was at this little black dress, black tie event. There was about 300 people there. Ended up being, I was just doing comedy, by the way, and it ended up being one of the best shows of my life. Like, people were laughing and crying and pounding on the tables. It was way better than this one. Yeah, exactly. This one has been amazing. I'm kidding. But, like, the comedy guys were with me. Like, I could do no harm. I was grooving, I was weaving, I was bobbing. Except for these 4 women near the front row who hated me. Like, cross-armed stink-eye, who the hell let her on stage, hated me. And I became obsessed with them. I couldn't understand how I was connecting with 296 people, and these 4 women just hated me, right? And I'm so sensitive, and as a comic, as a speaker, I want you guys to love me. right? I want to connect with all of you. Everyone wants to feel loved and validated, and they were just having none of it. And I went on autopilot. I missed all the laughter. I missed all the love. I missed all the applause. I was so obsessed with these 4 women, right? And I have to say, I got a standing ovation that night. That never happens in Canada. We're so tight with our standing ovations. It could be our 4-year-old's Christmas concert. We're like, no, that was not good enough. You know what we do. Like, honestly, I couldn't believe it. And, oh my God. So then, I had to know, right? So I finished my show. I missed all the love, missed all the applause, missed everything. I went up to them and I'm like, look, did I offend you? What happened? Why were you laughing? And you know what they said? We don't speak English. That is what they said. And I vowed at that moment to always focus on the people who were laughing, who did love me, because that can go for everything in our lives, right? There can be 100 beautiful, incredible things going on. And we're always focused on that one negative thing. So focus on the positive and extend to yourself that same kindness and compassion that we extend to others. Look, if we can lighten up, we can live a soul-driven life, and we can positively affect people by connecting with each other, our purpose, and ourselves with humor. I have to tell you, honestly, I was so grateful for the work you guys do for your communities, for our country. You help so many people, and it has been such a pleasure. I wrote a book called Second Best Mom, because I'm not that good at it. And I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be selling them. It's pay what you can. So if you don't have any cash, oh, there it is. Fred's holding it up. I'm going to be out there. If you don't want to get anything, just come say hi, because I'm super sensitive. And I have a couple albums. You can check them out. They're all streaming on Spotify and all that. Look, all these little things, bringing what you love back into your life, lightening up, being a little goofy, putting a spin on what's stressing you, using your intuition, bringing in the 3 do's, 5-second stress busters, laugh, 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 get in your laughs today, all these little things, and love yourself. Do your affirmation work. Sometimes, if you're not connecting with someone, they just don't speak your language, right? I have to say, I love what I do. I'm so grateful to be here, and thank you so much, everyone. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
We're not done with you yet, sister. I've been scribbling what I hope will be a well-received thank you. And it goes like this. Katie, Katie, what a lady. Your maternal skills behold. You provide for the life of your kids, from life itself to the common cold. We appreciate the info flow your maternal wisdom provides. We thank you for the shared advice and all the laughing besides. Kate's happily going to be with us for the day anyway. We'll see her again at the cocktail reception. If not, out at the table, well, she'll have her books for the next little while. And we just want to say thanks so much for the laugh today and being here.
Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have any questions or answers for me? No? All right. What's my book on? I wrote one story a month for over a decade about raising my children and how I use humor to connect with them on every stage, whether they were toddlers or teens. So it's just a fun read and really a labor of love. So, yeah. Thank you for asking. And really, it's not about the next best joke. It's really about not taking ourselves so seriously and bringing that to every aspect of our lives.
We promise.
Promise. Good. And I can't believe you just wrote that poem.
I didn't. Morty did.
Morty, did you really do that?
So we'll let this girl go and set up her shop, and I have a few little mid-afternoon housekeeping notes to share with you. Thank you so much, Kate Davis.